Passion, talent, influence.
That's what we're here to recognize.
A movement that lives right in our own backyard.
Southwest Florida.
So put your glasses up.
Let's give a toast.
Toast to the innovators.
Toast to the creators.
Toast to the go-getters.
The people who wake up every day with a passion to create.
Not for themselves, but for the benefit of the community.
A community that has no limits.
So let's kick back
and toast
to the Goodfellas.
Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody listening in Southwest Florida and around the nation. It's your boy Alan.
And it's your boy Nicholas.
And we're here live at EQ Recording and Multimedia in downtown Fort Myers.
It's good, bro? Glad to be back, bro. I feel like it's been a hiatus, even though we've been running on all cylinders lately.
We're grinding on the Sunday today, y'all. So
grinding on a Sunday.
Every day, no matter what day it is, we're out here. So
you already know. You all got busy lives. We all trying to, recover from COVID and all that stuff. We don't have COVID. Let me make that clear. But we, living in a world right now where things are kind of hectic. So it's glad to have some sense of normal behavior by being here in the studio, having some great people. But speaking of great people.
And before we get to that, this wonderful guest we have. If you are watching this, you are listening to this, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Play, and give us a review. It'll be greatly appreciated.
Appreciate the plug. So, as I was saying, we have a special guest here on the podcast today. His name is Ricardo. He's an entrepreneur. He's a local entrepreneur. I think he's out of Tampa right now, but he is a founder of a great company or a great page that I saw, and he's going to give us more details about it. So,
appreciate that.
Ricardo, you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Not only the founder of a great company, but you have been involved in many other small businesses around. So, I definitely would love to touch on that. But yeah, what's up, bro?
How you guys doing, man? I appreciate you guys having me here today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, bro.
I would dap you guys up, but let's be safe on camera.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. So, Ricardo, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from?
I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida. And that is about, I guess you'd say, like 10, 15 minutes from Fort Lauderdale. It's in Broward County.
Hey.
I was raised there. I wasn't born there. Like, I was born in the Turks and Caicos.
Really?
And then, I came over here when I was like 2 years old. Lived in Pompano my whole life, so for me, Pompano was home. That's where I'm from.
True.
And then came to Fort Myers for school, and then was in Fort Myers for an extended period of time, and then now I'm in Tampa, but originally from Pompano Beach, Florida.
Do you rep Kodak Black?
Yeah, 100%. Free Kodak, by the way.
little project 100%. Baby.
Yeah.
I feel like anything south of from Broward all the way down to Miami is a totally different experience versus Naples and up. Well, I feel like Naples all the way to to Brandon maybe is pretty much the same. And then, Tampa, Orlando, Ocala.
In regards to how the culture is and
yes,
everything.
Exactly
yeah.
how
I always tell people that Miami and Broward should be its own state or island and then separate the rest of Florida because it's just a whole different scene out there here for sure.
Yeah.
It's only a 2-hour drive.
I totally agree with you on that. But also, I feel like Broward and Miami are two different places. It's two different kinds of animals, two different kinds of people. Like, Broward, everybody's in competition with each other everywhere, no matter where you are. But I feel like in Broward, it is a competition of who's trying to be the most popular person with the money. Whereas in Miami, it's who's the most toughest guy. It's not about being the toughest in Broward. It's about who's the cleanest.
That's interesting. I would think
who's the biggest finesser. Who's the biggest hustler. It's the same thing for Miami, but I feel like Miami, there's way more shootings going on. There's way more I would say real gang things. Not more so petty gang things. There's real celebrities living down there, and you know what I'm saying. So when you could mix and mingle with celebrities just because they're in your neighborhood, that's very different from the people that are in Fort Lauderdale and Pompano and Coral Springs. And for instance, where that shooting happened with Douglas, that was in Broward, like in West Broward, that would never happen in Miami. Like, if it did happen in Miami, it would be like, you know, probably somewhere like in a rich area. Because once again, it's like two different animals over there. Like over in like that shooting was such a shockwave for Broward. I don't think it would have been a super shockwave in Miami. It would have been like, ah, man, that's super sad. But it's like, you know, every time you get on the news over there, it's like there was a shooting, there was this and that. In Broward, there's a lot of things happening in Broward, but I don't know. You're from Miami, right?
Yeah, Dave.
So
yeah.
you understand what I'm talking about, Allie.
Yeah.
It's like Broward is. I don't think they're as savage as Miami. Like,
Okay.
like we listen to music different too.
Yeah,
like, we like our music fast.
I
in Broward.
like music that
Yeah.
comes out of Broward.
Yeah, our
Some of
music
my
is
favorite
fast.
music.
You guys play
You know.
the "I'm So High" and "Ecstasy" fast version of the song
Yeah.
in Broward, and you play the normal version in Dade County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah. Everything is fast.
Yeah.
Like it's like the music is faster.
You gotta
I
have
think
strong knees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the vibe is different. You know,
Yeah.
the vibe is different. Like you
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I've been to Broward more since I moved out of Dade and like went to FGCU because I feel like I've met more people from Broward here than I met from Dade County. But yeah, I think I can see the differences in the two areas. I think you're right, but you probably know more like the in depth about it. But I could definitely see some differences. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just everybody's sauce is different over there.
Yeah.
Like
I personally know a lot of people from Broward, and everybody that I know from Broward is all like very authentic, and they just know who they are. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to put up a front. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So like, and I think that's some of the reasons. Like some of my best friends are from Broward, and when they moved back to Broward, I understood because they had came to
Yeah.
FGCU for a minute, and then they ended up moving back to Broward because FGCU wasn't for them. So I was like, you know what, I understand. And I've gone to Broward plenty of times, and every time I go over there, there's always something new to experience. And it's right super close to Fort Lauderdale, so you can just take
Yeah.
that trip downtown, have good time, come on back home.
Where do you rank Lee County compared to Dade and Broward?
you want to keep it real?
Keep it real,
Keep it
bro.
real, bro.
Lee County is like at the bottom for sure.
So what makes you
But I'm gonna tell you why
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
terms. Lee County is only at the bottom in the terms of like how modern they are.
Mm.
That is what they're at the bottom of.
Mhm.
I think Lee County is like on point with. They're the ones that have the most momentum in this whole state, and people don't know that.
Mhm.
Like like
everybody
the
sleep on
momentum is already taken up in Broward, in Miami, in
Mhm.
Orlando, and Tampa.
Mhm.
Like this is like a diamond in the rough.
It's,
Right.
I compare it to like you ever play a video game, you create an avatar and you see their potential when you first
Yeah.
like create it. You're like, oh man, this guy's gonna be great once I build him up. But then he already gets to that point where he's maxed out. And you're like, I don't know if I like him like that. Like in 2K,
Yeah.
when you max out your character in 2K, if you didn't build him right the first time, you're screwed with whatever characteristics you first picked. Versus, right, having someone who's diamond in the rough, you have like a goal, you have something to achieve, and you can see that potential just maximized. At least in
Yeah.
my opinion. And I feel like Lee County, specifically Fort Myers, you can see the progress happening every single day. Like you see hotels being built, you see stores coming in that you never saw before. You see more and more people engaging in local politics, doing certain things that you normally don't see. At least I didn't see from first coming to Fort Myers. So
Yeah, land development and all that too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of opportunity for commercial and residential
mhm.
real estate. So I feel like that could essentially, that would be driven by small businesses coming here and like hopefully we get that Top Golf. That Top Golf would be
That's
huge.
supposed to be coming, right? That's supposed to be.
Supposedly they said spring 2021,
Yeah.
but it was originally supposed to come like this summer, but then Corona pushed everything back.
Yeah. That
And
makes sense. Yeah.
This Corona shit is low key kind of scary of how like it could maybe stunt the growth though of Lee County because you never know people are going
Nah.
to stop going out
I
to
think
places.
that it's all about at what position. It's like you're playing a sport,
Yeah.
and you got the people on the field, you got the people in the skybox, and you got the people on the sidelines watching. Everybody has a different perspective
Mhm.
of what's going on, but the person that I think that really understands that, I don't think Corona, because apparently down here you guys don't have no mask requirements. Like you guys are kind of like just living nasty out here. You feel me?
Living
Like you
nasty.
guys are actually giving out masks. things are different over here. Like, it's like here in Fort Myers, they're trying to make it something like something that people are gonna be like, oh, that's not Miami, that's not Broward, that's not Orlando, that's Fort Myers, that's Naples, and I know what I'm gonna get when I get out of there. You know, when you go to Broward, you go to Miami, kind of already have an idea what you're gonna get out of it. You're kind of like building this place up to be something that is totally different than everybody else, because once again, this is definitely like a diamond in the rough. Like you guys are saying, all these buildings and stuff coming up. That was probably like my number one thing that like I recognize here is that I was like, they're not playing. Like money is like not an issue here. If a building, it starts today, it's done by December. Like they don't, like, I've seen things come up here so fast, but it's also like motivational, because you're like, bro, if they could build a building that fast, like, what am I doing?
Yeah, what can I do to,
like, that's
to
feasible
acquire
for
that
me,
piece of
you know?
land, and maybe I can open up my own, store or whatever, you know?
Or what could I do in my 24 hours, since somebody's spending their 24 hours on building this building, and they know what's gonna come. Like, you know, you guys been here for a while. We all been here for a while.
Yeah.
Like, y'all remember when there wasn't certain food places, like in the town center, like
Like
things
Zaxby's.
weren't open. Like,
I love Zaxby's.
you know, like
Zaxby's.
things is like crazy. But like, if you're from Broward or Miami, that's like normal. You come over here, it's like, bro, these people are like 10 years behind, 20 years behind. That was my first impression when I came over here. I was like, this place is like 20 years behind.
That's what excites me, because like one of my goals in the future is to open up a Nicaraguan restaurant here, and they only have it in Miami, and there's one in the Cape, but it's not like Miami style. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I like, that is a good opportunity maybe to succeed somewhere like in Lehigh, or like even in some parts of Naples. You know, like and that could be like the first real good one here. Over there, it's already, there's already multiple ones. It's too saturated. So it's like the opportunity is what excites me.
Absolutely. Speaking of opportunity, which I don't think this question has anything to do with, but it's a great transition phrase. We want to get to know about some of the things that you're a part of right now. So what are some of the projects you're working on and things that you've done lately?
Right now, I'm working on TownView, and TownView is an app for businesses. We're giving businesses mobile app features to connect with their customers, but mostly their loyal customers, because as you guys know, you guys have loyal listeners. Your loyal listeners are the ones that are you're pushing this to the forefront for you. So if you can maintain a relationship with your loyal listeners or your loyal customers, and you're able to like incentivize them to like give them rewards or give them more offers, they're gonna talk about you more. So now your 20% of customers that's really loyal to you can go to 25% to 30%, and that's gonna increase your revenue like up to 70 to 90% just by increasing your loyalty base of like, you got that 80-20 rule, where it's like 20% of your revenue comes from like, like 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. So you have to think about that when you're conducting that relationship with these people. You want them to be like, yo, I want to talk about Toast to the Goodfellas to everybody. When I go to Gainesville, I'm going to talk about it. When I go to Pompano Beach, I'm going to talk about it. Because, like, for instance, I'll use, you go to a restaurant. If you like that restaurant, you're going to come back and tell Alan. You're going to come back and tell me. You're going to tell your other bros. You're going to be like, yo, I went to this restaurant. It was amazing. They gave me $5 off. They gave me $10 off. They gave me a free drink, free appetizer. But right now, that's, like, what I'm working on with 2 other co-founders. And it's an app just on iOS right now. But the app for the users allows the users to see what's happening right now. We go to new cities and we don't know what's happening right now. We have to Google it, and you're going to see a baseball stadium, the zoo, but it's not going to tell you about Joe's Pizza Shop down the street that's having a 2-for-1 special, or this ice cream parlor that's down the street that's having, maybe free ice cream scoops. These types of things.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know what's happening right now. So that's what we're trying to provide to the users, is what's happening right now. And to the businesses, we're trying to provide them like tools that these major large companies have. Like Domino's Pizza has their own app, Papa John's has their own app, H&M has their own app, Chipotle has their own app, and they're using that app to connect with their users. They have the data on their users. They know what their users like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these smaller businesses that are actually, you know, pretty popular, they want to build an app, but now you have to convince that customer, hey, you should download my app. And now you got to get this customer to believe in, you know, your app is worth the digital real estate on my phone. And we're trying to, you know, cut that problem out for the businesses, whereas all the businesses are going to be on this app. So you're not telling this customer, download my app. You're telling this customer, download TownView, subscribe to my business profile. And, you know, you probably find some other businesses on there, but it's
versatile.
It's versatile. It doesn't, you know, pigeonhole the business into having to really sell this app themselves, because the app isn't just for them. The app just provides them tools to connect with their customers more directly, more efficiently.
Bro, that's pretty awesome. First of all, I want to shout out Chipotle because their app gave me a free entree today. So I was grubbing on with the rewards. I was
what about Mama's Cuban restaurant or something like that? Like, what if she could have gave you a reward?
That would have been dope. You know,
exactly,
that would have been dope.
Know, an app for her would be like 100,000.
Yeah, I love this idea because I'm always looking for like what's happening around, you know, the area, and I feel like that's like one of the like top questions that gets searched on in Google, at least in this area, is like what's going on in Fort Myers, or what kind of deals are going on in Fort Myers, because you can't really like, you know, find that information pretty much, you know, it's not readily accessible. You have to research to find it.
Yeah.
Like that coupon code, you have that extension on Google Chrome. Was it like Honey or something like that, where it finds coupon codes? But like not even that's reliable. But to have something that, you know, is local, but, you know, is tailored to Florida, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is pretty much give the users the options, you know, like the ability to be like, hey, at least I knew that was open or that was available to me, because that's one thing you don't want to find out. Is like, we kind of did some research with Southwest Florida with the Facebook group. You know, you can get people to answer some questions, and we asked, like, you know, how often have you found out something that's happening in Fort Myers or Naples a day or two after? And like, that was like 60-70% of the answers we were getting was like, yeah, it always happens.
Jesus.
And a lot of the answers were, one of the questions were, are you actively looking for things to do? It's like, yes, I am, but just never able to really find anything. And like you were saying, you got to Google these things.
Yeah.
And how much time are you going to spend on Google looking for something to do in the next 30 minutes? Like,
you got to have time first.
Yeah, you know, so we're trying to cut out the time for the users. Let me just open up this app, and it's going to show me what's happening right now at 8:30. If it's 8:30 p.m., what's open, how far it is, and, you know, the details when I click into the actual event post or the deal post. But that's the idea, is that for the business, not for the businesses, for the users, they know what's happening right now. And for the businesses, you can maintain a relationship with your loyal customers and kind of like control that, you know, because right now for a business, if you have, you know, a lot of followers from your Instagram to your Facebook to your website, then it's like you have to be really active on those platforms, but you also have to remember that the users aren't only using that platform just for you. Like, they're going on Instagram for their friends. Like, you're going on Facebook for your friends and family. Like, you just happen to follow, you know, these businesses because you like them and things like that. But in reality, these businesses are really competing with your everyday people, like your friends, you know, because if, you know, like Chipotle posts, you're probably going to see Chipotle post 6 after your first 5 friends, but you're not really worried about that on Instagram or Facebook. You know, with TownView, it's just for the business. Like, you're not going on here, you're not going to see somebody posting photos. Like, you're just seeing, oh, this business is open, and this is what they're having right now. Maybe I want to go to them, maybe I don't. Or maybe I want to save it and go to it later. But the idea is that it's just a direct communication channel between businesses and locals and tourists. That way, you know, there's like nothing getting lost from having to Google things, spend 10, 20 minutes on the internet, don't really find anything, get frustrated, and then want to say Fort Myers is lame, Naples is lame, like Cape Coral is lame. And that's not the truth. The truth is, I don't know where to find this information that was going on. It's not that it's lame. It's just that you're not going to take the time to find it. So we'll do that for you. Don't worry about it. We'll find the information for you. You know, just go ahead and download the app. It's on the iPhone. You know, I mean, the Apple Store. I'm over here mixing up my words, but go ahead and download the app. You know, TownView, TownView, download it. It's available in Fort Myers, Naples, Cape Coral, Tampa, St. Pete. More cities coming soon in Florida, but yeah, that's like the main project that I'm working on right now. I'm like working on a lot of things.
Bro,
working on
we know. We
Yeah.
see it, bro. Like, we see. That's why we want to bring you on.
So how do you feel about that? Working on multiple things. Do you feel sometimes that you're like, damn, maybe I should just focus on one, or should I'm like, okay, I want to learn a little bit of everything, because sometimes I struggle with, I want to learn so much that maybe if I just put in focus on one thing, like everything else will fall into place. But I'm so impatient that I want to keep learning shit. So does that help you out, or do you kind of like see it that, okay, maybe I could look at something else?
I think I kind of had to go through my own experience of trying to learn everything at the same time and like it not working. Like I'm one of those people that like as soon as I think of something, I just do it. Like if I think of a good idea, I'm not gonna be like, yo, Alan, Manny, what do you guys think of this idea? Like I'm gonna do that, but I've already started working on it. By the time I asked you, what do you think about it?
Yeah.
Because I like, one, you lose ideas so fast. Ideas just come in your head and go. So you just want to keep it. You just want to keep working on, like, like, for instance, working on Town View, working on Vintage Vibes, and working on like Genius Buds. It's like these are 3 different things, and I have to like try to, when I have to focus on one thing, I have to like block out these ideas. But I think that trying to work on everything at the same time and it not working, and then me realizing, all right, I just need to focus on one thing at a time. It kind of helped realize, like, okay, I started focusing on Town View the most. Like, let me just focus on Town View. And if I get this right, everything else will kind of like work together, because Town View, like, surprisingly enough, is like the thing that out of everything I've been working on is a thing that can connect everything together.
Yeah.
Like, like I can have a Genius Buds profile on Town View. I can have a Vintage Vibes profile on Town View. You know what I'm saying? We can do the Vibes Entertainment on Town View. So everything that I started before Town View, I can bring it to Town View. So it only makes sense that I focus on Town View. And also too, because you learn so many things, because you're trying to do so many things, you learn like, dang, I was doing that wrong. I was doing that wrong. I was doing that wrong. And I learned all that just by focusing on Town View. So now when when it's time to like really dig into like Genius Buds and like Vintage Vibes is already rolling, but like, cause that's more than, it's not just me, but once it's time to dig into those things, I'm going to take in the same things that I learned with Town View and apply it to Vintage Vibes, to Genius Buds, and all the businesses that I'm going to do moving forward. But, I think focusing on one really helped me realize, like, all right, dang, I can apply this to that. I can apply it because it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's just a different brand, different message, but, the same principles of what you're trying to do is pretty much the same. So I've kind of like taken the road of like, I'm just going to focus on one thing. It's really hard because you get excited about all these other things happening. Like, I'm excited about what's going on with Vintage Vibes, but what's really a relief about that is thank God it's not just me. Think about it, like same thing with Town View. Thank God it's not just me. Like, none of this is just me. So it helps like the brain facilitate the ideas more. Like, I don't have to worry about everything. It's teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely. You guys got this going on. You guys know what it means. Like,
Yo, I got a question about Town View. So, is it ever going to get to the point where, let's say, I'm a local painter, right, local artist, and I want to sell one of my pieces of artwork? Would I be able to market that on Town View and sell it through Town View?
Yes, actually, we're gonna have a marketplace. We already have a marketplace on the app, but the idea is that the marketplace is for more so small businesses like a painter, but a boutique shop, like Designer's Closet or something like that, or like Rustic Chic Boutique is another boutique like in Cape Coral. But these like types of places, if you could buy their product through the app and then have that product, you go pick it up in the store or have it delivered. That's kind of because we're competing with a lot of different apps, as you guys think of. So, for instance, we're gonna have a marketplace. Facebook has a marketplace, but that marketplace is for TVs, stereos, cars, things like that. We're trying to make our marketplace for the small business owner. So a painter does fit in that category of like I have paint. This may be my studio. I have 6 pieces of art. I'm going to list it on the Townview Marketplace, you know, and whenever I sell it, you know, percentage is going to go this way for me, percentage is going to go this way to Townview. But eventually, and honestly, right now, we could do that. Have a painter put up his artwork. But what we're trying to do is, you know, leverage with the businesses, because in order for a painter to get the most benefit out of this, we got to get these businesses on here and get them rolling and get them talking about it. Because once they're rolling and talking about it, then it'll benefit the painter even way more, because he'll have the businesses, customers to pull from. Because you might go on this app for, you know, Rusty's or something like that, but now you see this cool painting from Joe in Naples, and you're like, oh man, let me buy this painting. Yeah. I'm going to Rusty's anyways. I wasn't even thinking about a painting, but I'm on the app. I like click the marketplace.
Yeah, and you know how some tourists are like, man, I want to get something local from there. Yeah. Type shit. Like when I go to Denver, I'm like, I want to go to like Denver local spots. Like I want to get a Colorado like antique. Fort Myers, like you only get an antique piece from like a Fort Myers artist or some shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. I like that the way you worded that, because kind of the way we were thinking about it is like from the smaller scale people. I didn't think about it of a painter. I was thinking about the person that has just an online website. You know, maybe they're selling makeup online or selling T-shirts online. They don't necessarily have a storefront yet, like a designer's closet or a rustic chick boutique, but they have, you know, they have customers. Yeah. And they have a presence, and maybe they're in Fort Myers or in Naples, because I actually know a few girls and guys that have online businesses that are in Fort Myers and Naples. They don't have a store, you know, but they have customers. Yeah. And, you know, how are they communicating through their customers? Like I just told you guys, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but you go on all these apps, not for the businesses, you know, so it's not that it's hurting the businesses, but it's not putting the businesses in the best light. Yeah. You know, you want them to shine. They want to win, you know, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help the businesses be like the big guys. Like, you know, that's what's going to help cities stay alive, small businesses. You know, if we're helping these small businesses stay alive, then you won't see all these like buildings closing down. You won't see cities like, you know, just the roads all messed up. Like we got to keep the money in our, you know, community. So if you're pushing shop local, dine local, support local, then Fort Myers, Naples, Tampa, Cape Coral, St. Pete, all Florida cities that we're going to be in, they have no choice but to just get better and better. Because if you have 1 million people, for instance, living in Fort Myers, I think it's only 700,000, but if you have 1 million people living in Fort Myers, but those 1 million people are shopping at the 2,000 stores in Fort Myers, and they're not, you know, going to Orlando or not necessarily going to Orlando, but buying stuff outside of their community, you know, it just helps benefit the community, because that money goes back into, you know, parks, roads, all these other things. So we really want to push that initiative, like shop local, support local. And then like you're saying, you travel, you go to these places, and you want to feel connected to that place in some kind of way, you know. And how are you going to feel connected? By, you know, spending 2 hours Googling something and then getting there and not really, you know, getting the most out of it, or, you know, just not really getting the full-blown experience that you would like just because of lack of information. Like, that's really what it is. You're just because you're missed information. Like, and for me, that's how, like, you know, it's 3 of us working on Townview. From my perspective, like, what made me passionate about the problem that we were trying to solve is that I was in Colorado for 3 months for a while, and I kept missing all these concerts. I was like, bro, this concert was $13 and it was right down the street. Like, what? Like, how did I miss this? And I'm like, bro, and I was trying a lot of good food places, and I was like, but I found them on my own just by walking around, going places. But I was like, there should be some app or website that connects locals directly with small businesses in these places, because when you go someplace, I don't want to go eat at Denny's in Colorado. Yeah. Like, I can eat at Denny's anywhere. Yeah. You know, I can eat IHOP anywhere. Stop eating Chipotle, bro.
I love Chipotle. Bro, don't tell me
Chipotle that. Anywhere. I'm right there with him. But I'm still going to go to the Cuban restaurant, the Nicaraguan restaurant, the Honduran restaurant, the Jamaican restaurant, the Haitian restaurant. I want to try these different foods because, you know, I like these foods. But when you realize you're going to different places, it's like, dang. And what really made me realize it was that I went to a place that I thought their food was amazing, but there was nobody in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why is there nobody in here? How come nobody knows how good your food is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and, you know, that's kind of like where the, you know, wanting to work on that problem came for me, is that like I was really just missing those concerts. Like, imagine missing like a Chief Keef concert or trying to think of who was popular, Wiz Khalifa in like it was 2016 at the time. But just imagine just missing a concert just because you didn't know, and it was like right down the street. Like literally, like talking about 5 minutes down your street where you live at, and the concert was less than $20. You'd be like,
I know a lot of people like who are like doing these like pop up like concerts that where you stay in the car and you can watch the artist. A lot of people are missing out on them because they don't know that these are happening.
Bro, when I was in Atlanta a couple of years ago, there's a concert called Birthday Bash, and all the artists that were featured were Young Thug, Gunna, Lil Baby. Migos made a guest appearance with Cardi B. This was when Cardi B was pregnant, and we found out about it the day of. Like, thank God. But like, I'm surprised it wasn't getting promoted or couldn't find it anywhere. So like, you're right. Like, I wish we could have had something like previously, but like, we came across something. I think this was like an ad or some shit like that, and they're like, oh shit, this shit's today. Yeah. Like, let's fucking go. And all these artists are there. Like, what the fuck is?
Yeah, I like to bring that visualization to light some more. I'd be super pissed off if, like, let's say me and Alan went to the same, like, went on vacation, right? 2 separate areas, but in the same vicinity. And he went to all these concerts, and I didn't get to go to any of them because I didn't know. I'm like, are you? And then he comes back, yo, this concert was dope. Somebody threw this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, are you serious? I didn't know about this. Like, I would be kind of upset.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like our tourists, they don't get as much as they can when they, you know, visit Florida for the first time, at least. And
then another thing too, is even worse, is the locals. They don't give the, you know, not all of them, but, you know, you're not giving the city a good name when you're like, this is boring. There's nothing to do here. Like, I hate this place. Or in reality, it's like, you know, you have to find your own thing to do here a lot in Fort Myers. You gotta have to make your own fun. Yeah. Which how, you know, we kind of started with the like Vibes Entertainment. It was like, bro, who's throwing parties here? Like, nobody's throwing parties here. Like,
y'all were some heavy hitters.
Crazy,
y'all were some heavy hitters, bro.
Like, nobody was throwing parties at all. Like, they were throwing parties, but like, we're all what's it called? We're all minorities here. They weren't throwing parties for us.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, exactly.
You know, they weren't throwing parties for us. And
too many times,
I don't even like parties. Like,
I don't like them anymore.
Have you?
We call them caddies.
You know, but you guys been to some of the parties. When have you guys ever seen me actually in the party?
That's a good point.
I don't know, man. I can't recall. I was usually faded.
Yeah. That's not a good question to ask, especially, you know, since the parties were lit.
Yeah.
But tell us more about your other projects like Vintage Vibes and Genius Buds.
Yeah, for Vintage Vibes, that's me, Christian Melvin, Gio, and that started off in 2015. Is really because we were trying to, like, you know, have something like for Christian, because, you know, Christian has his music thing going on. He's doing his music thing, and artists have to have, like, you know, a brand with their music, you know? Yeah. Like, you know, you got the OVO with Drake, and I'm just gonna go with the rappers I'm listening to right now, but like Griselda with like Benny the Butcher and like Conway and stuff like that. Like, those guys are selling merch like crazy. Like, you know, just because they already have a brand associated with their record label and things like that. So that's kind of like what it was, part of the reason why we started it, and also trying to like display, you know, the versatility of the youth and beauty of the soul. That's what it stands for. Trying to describe that, like, you know, us all being young and, you know, of different backgrounds and things like that, that it doesn't really like pigeonhole you into like, you know, this one place. You know, most of us grew up with like, especially with, you know, from the Vibes Entertainment perspective, not the Vintage Vibes, but the Vibes Entertainment with me, Gio, and Christian, we're all like Caribbean people. So we all grew up with those, you know, kind of that upbringing with your family and stuff like that. So you kind of have like this understanding of like, you know, I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to be great. Not only because for me, but obviously my parents, like where my parents came from, I just want to be great, like for myself and for them. But like, I think that synergy was really important. That kind of helped. And then mixing up with Mel's the man.
Yeah. Shout out to Melvin.
Yeah, shout out to Melvin for sure. Mel is like, he's like the glue.
I see him,
bro.
I see him. We live together, so I see him do the work.
Yeah, Mel's he's on another level.
Yeah,
you know. But the idea of like how Vintage Vibes works is that like we're putting out the clothes right now, and we're gonna be putting out more merchandise, like, you know, t-shirts, hats, and things like that. And, you know, gonna be doing some collabs soon. Some pretty cool people. You know, excited about that. With Vintage Vibes right now, we just released our international t-shirt.
Yeah, I saw that. It's fire.
Yeah, and then we actually used 50%, or I think it was around 50%, like hemp material to make the t-shirts, which is like a big difference. And we kind of got like good feedback from the customers that bought like that first batch of the t-shirts. Yeah. But like, you know, us just doing that and, you know, getting it back out rolling, because, you know, kind of, you know, had it like, you know, paused for a while. But I want to bring that up. You know, I think what happens when, you know, when you start something like a business or a brand or whatever, and it's like paused for a while, it depends on what your situation is. Being with us, all of us were like in school. So it's like, school is like, it's not a bad thing, but it's an excuse. You can use school to be like, I got homework, or I got to do this, I got to do that. Yeah. So it almost like can push things away, because like, you know, and that's where the whole, you know, the argument of like, dang, man, like, do I want to like be this entrepreneur for real, or do I want to like just, you know, just go to school? And because it's like you can't do both, but you can do both. It's just really, really, really hard, you know? So while you're in school, you kind of like trying to do the business, you kind of push it back. So I think once everybody was done with school, it just was like, all right, you know, what are we doing here with what we got going on here? Like, and on top of that, you know, Christian's got the music continuously coming out. Yep. So it's like, we got to get this thing going, because at any second now, you know, your boy music could be #1 on the Billboard and ain't gonna have no brand for him. You know?
He was recently put on to like you know how Spotify has the new music playlist? Yeah. I think he was recently put on to like the new music playlist for India. Yep. Yeah. Yep. He has sent that to us. I was like, yo, that's dope, bro. That's dope.
He's getting a lot of streams right now. Christian is popping, but we gotta keep grinding. Absolutely. We gotta keep grinding, you know. Absolutely. So this is just.
So would you say the overall like a goal for Vibes is to essentially promote a culture where no matter where you're from, everybody is one in a way?
Everybody is one, and everybody has the opportunity to do their best if we like admit it to ourselves. Like, you know, like a lot of people are like, you know, they kind of like give themselves bad luck. Like, oh, I'm not good at this, or that's going to be super hard, or, you know, just words to like kind of like stop you from doing what you really want to do, because, you know, just these self-doubt words, you know, these doubt words. So we're trying to like kill that spell of like doubt, and just like understand that you're a versatile person. Like, you know, you just got to express who you really are and like get that out there. And if people are going to rock with it or they're not, you know, but trust me, the world's not going to end if they're not rocking with it. Yeah.
It might just get a little bit brighter, because you're going to be, you know, doing what you want to do instead of what you think you should do.
Yeah, that's 100%.
It's fear, bro. It's just we focus too much on the end result and like the flashy things. We forget to appreciate the process in getting those. Yeah. Getting to the light, you know, at the end of the tunnel.
It's like the podcast.
We don't focus on the darkness. It's like we got to embrace the pain. That's something I've been learning a lot. After listening to this audiobook with
put us on, bro. Put us on.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Bro, that shit is
I had a friend tell me about that.
Fire, bro. It's fire. It makes you really think like, yo, like, why? it makes you think why you're upset about certain things. Like, why am I upset? It's like you choose certain metrics to make you think that you really value that thing when, like, okay, what if I don't think of it like that? Then I wouldn't be upset. Or, oh, I'd appreciate this more. I appreciate this pain more because I know this is going to pay off in the long run. We don't really look at it like that. Yeah. So, like, yeah, y'all gotta check it out. I'm not gonna ruin it for y'all. I'm not gonna ruin it. Y'all check it out, man.
I gotta think
but like,
about that.
yo, yeah, it's just
the subtle art of like the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thing about that because I feel like, what if you're born with not giving a fuck, or not even say born with, you through life experiences, by the time you reach a certain age, like you don't give a fuck, and people take it a certain way or something like that, but. And also another thing too I want to bring is that what if you are naturally like a person that reflects a lot? Then, you know, it kind of helps with the way you think about things. Like, I shouldn't be upset about that. Like, why would I get upset about that? Like, I'm a big like reflector. Mm-hmm. Like, I just reflect. I'll sit here and reflect for hours. I'll be like, dang, like why did that happen? And I'll try to really put myself in that person's shoes because I'm not the most sensitive person. But being that, I really try to like understand like why did you feel that way or what. But I think that comes with me just being a person that naturally likes to reflect. Yeah. Like if I didn't naturally like to do that, then it would be pretty tough.
People that's really healthy though. Yeah. Because in a way that promotes accountability. But in this society, we're so trained to point fingers at other people. Yep. For our problems when we have our problems, it's not because of them, it's because of us. Mm-hmm. And accountability is really scary for a lot of people. Yeah. It's like they don't want to point at themselves. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to just yell at you for some shit. If a certain task didn't get done for the podcast, I could just yell at you. I could have been like, well, I didn't let him know enough, or I didn't say it in the best way possible, so that's why he didn't do it. So maybe if I would have said it better, it would have gotten done. Yeah. But it's always I always say it's always my fault no matter what. Yeah. No matter if it's not my fault.
But it also goes back to like, you know, things like, you know, your family, your environment. Yeah, like who you're raised around and things like that. Like if these people aren't like pressing accountability or they're like, you know, doing what you just said, they're taking their thing out on you. Yeah. What are you going to do? Just pass it on, right? Yep. But like I said, if you naturally, facts, 100%. If you naturally, you know, luckily, if you have that you know, that ability to just be like, I just want to reflect. Like, I like sitting in silence and just thinking a lot because I feel like nobody has better answers than me in my head, like upstairs. Like, I just got to sit and think about it for a long time. But, you know.
Speaking of that, like that, what you're talking about, that ability to reflect, bro, that's painted on Genius Buds. Like, I see it. When I'm looking through the profile, I'm like, yo, he already has questions that people want answers to, you know, already on there for people to just see. So if you're having problems reflecting, well, boom, there's a question right there you can ask yourself. So, like, bro, tell us a little bit more about Genius Buds because, like, from what I'm seeing, that could really pop off into something big.
Yeah, man. Genius Buds was something that I think is funny. I started Genius Buds because kind of what I was telling you guys, you know, working on Vintage Vibes, it's so many different minds working on it, and we're trying to, like, get it rolling, but, you know, some of us are in school, and it's like, maybe, like, they were in school, I wasn't in school at the time. So at that time, I was really like, man, I don't really care about school. I just want to be a boss. I just want to be in charge. But also, like, you have to consult with so many people. So I kind of started Genius Buds out of, like, I just want to start something and not have to have a meeting with 4 or 5 people and come to the same agreement. You know? That's kind of how, like, the idea even started. But the reason that it's, like, I created it was because, you know, for people that are cannabis consumers, I myself was a cannabis consumer. I believe that, you know, they try to, like, put these stereotypes on you that, you know, oh, because you consume cannabis, like, you're lazy, you're never gonna amount to anything. What are some things, like, you're gonna be doing heroin or other drugs soon? Just all types of, like, things that they try to, like, attribute to cannabis. And I personally believe, but everybody has a different body, everybody has a different, like, you know, I don't know the
Anatomy.
scientific word. Yeah, different anatomy. Everybody has a different anatomy, so everything that we take in, and we're gonna react differently to it.
Yep.
So I can understand, people having these perspectives, but Genius Buds, we're trying to kill that perspective. We want to show that Genius Buds, because Genius Buds is like what we're describing is in its name, kind of like right now, us three, we're Genius Buds. I'm not gonna say you guys are cannabis consumers because I don't know that. But for me, let's put this in an example. All three of us are cannabis consumers, but we're all professionals. We are buddies that consume cannabis, but we're still like professionals. It doesn't take away from me. Like if people figured out that the doctor that just did surgery on them just consumed cannabis, they probably would lose their thingy. But they have no idea what if that helped that guy focus more on the surgery. It sounds crazy, but
honestly, bro, you get more creative when you consume cannabis.
But everybody has a different anatomy, because there's people that and that's kind of what we want Genius Buds to be, is an educational platform to explain to people that all of us are not going to react the same to this, but let's not put a stereotype on it. Yes. Like let's understand that there's cannabis consumers that are CEOs, that are CFOs, they're working on Wall Street. There's people doing worse drugs. And you guys
just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's bad for you.
Yeah.
But and also
it's not even a drug.
They've had so much propaganda on it. It's been built up to be like, yo, if you see that person that's smoking cannabis, you better stay away. He's just
the
another
stupid ass
lazy
commercials
person.
from back in the
Remember
day.
back in the day, the slumped lady in the couch. That's not crazy, because there's people that react like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to say it's all about everybody's anatomy, but I just don't want to pigeonhole this this stereotype of
I tried telling my mom that she should get on medical marijuana, bro.
I mean, you're talking crazy now. You got to understand how you got to approach your parents.
No. She was very open minded about it. Okay. I knew she would be. I knew how to pick my battles.
I was like, he probably knows smile pretty well.
I told her straight up, maybe you should consider it. Just ask. But she doesn't like the smoke and all that, which is understedible. Not.
But this is why we need to educate.
Yeah, but that's
not the only way to consume it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's other ways. There's there's edibles. There's topicals. There's pills. There's so many different ways to consume cannabis. We're only at the beginning of what's going on with cannabis. We don't even have all the information about this plant and what it can do. Certain people have the information, the government, and they gonna do whatever they want to do with it. But scientists are doing more research and trying to they're gaining they're kind of learning everything as we go. As they legalize it more, as they lift little bands up, they're able to do more research. They're able to get more results and understand what's going on. Pretty soon, it's just kind of they're gonna have to look at the the devil in the face and be like, yo, this is what it is. Because once again, back to Genius Buds, it was part of that starting too, is that the philanthropy part of Genius Buds, we want to the merchandise that we want to sell, we want to use that money to use it towards pro bono cases to help get these people that are in jail for consuming cannabis, less than a gram or less than 7 grams of cannabis, and they can't vote, they might be still in jail, they can't get a job. There's so many different people. There's hundreds and thousands of people that look just like me, literally look just like me, in jail because of a plant that other people now are making ridiculous money off of. Yes. And and that's not besides the point. That's very important that they're making a lot of money, but what's more important is that they've traumatized us. They've traumatized us to the point where a lot of people of African American or Latino background, they're like, bro, I'm not gonna try marijuana. I'm not gonna go to jail. I'm not gonna go to jail for that. It's not worth it. It's because they've conditioned us and trained us to have these these ideas and conceptions about hey, this is what cannabis is gonna do to us. So with Genius Buds, we just really want to tackle those stereotypes, help get all these guys and gals, lots of men and women out of prison, not just black people, but Latin people, especially Black and Latin people.
Yeah.
You know, is that because how many people are in jail right now that could have probably made a difference in like a local election?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Rogan had a podcast with two guys who are. It's their mission to kind of like get those people out of jail. And
You have to,
and
bro.
I haven't
It's criminal.
I
that
haven't
you're in there
finished
right
it,
now.
but I started it, and they were giving stories on like how people will get locked up for 15 years just off like
Yeah.
being like having absolutely nothing to do with the situation, but just
being around it.
being around it. 15
But
years.
more so, it's just
fucking
their color
crazy.
skin.
And, yeah,
Like
they talk
he's
about
brown,
that shit too.
He's brown or he's black. So
Uh-huh.
let's just keep it a buck, man. We're under attack.
Yes.
We've been under attack for a while.
yeah.
You know,
You ever watched the Patriot Act with Hassan Minaj?
I didn't watch that. He's hilarious. I watched his Homecoming one.
Well, and that episode's on Netflix.
Yeah.
He has an episode about the medical marijuana industry, or just the marijuana industry in itself, and he kind of breaks it down in terms of like how it operates and things of that nature. And there's a lot of great information on there about the process of even being able to acquire some land to be able to grow your own.
Yeah.
And I this is why I like platforms like podcasts, why I like platforms like just regular, educational TV shows and things of that nature, and just radio, because you get to see different perspectives. And that, and along with the Joe Rogan podcast, if you don't like go and look for these things, you're not going to find them, unless someone like recommends it to you. But if you're not a social type of person, you're just going to stay ignorant. And I think these platforms do a great job of being able to express certain perspectives outside of the normal, preconceived notions that people have.
That's very well said, bro. I'm low key mad my cannabis stocks are down though.
Whoa, I'm not gonna lie to you.
But I'm a big cannabis stock believer.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. So I'm holding for the long term.
So are mine.
Yeah.
But I want to let you know that,
Still good.
We're in this together.
We're in this together. And when we're on our yachts because we believe in something way earlier than everybody else.
There you go.
I mean, you
better invite me to your yacht.
That's gonna be their business. You're gonna be on your yacht too. So
I can't wait till they legalize it, because I think the problem was that like it was legalized in Canada, but then people would cross the border to the States because they get it for cheaper because they'd be taxing in Canada. So then their stores would be losing sales, and then the revenue obviously goes down. Stock price goes down. It's like, fuck, man. So they gotta just legalize it everywhere.
In Canada?
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know too much about that, so I'm gonna say I don't know. Like I know
it's a cannabis.
I would definitely try to get in on some American companies, because once they change the rules, bro. Like they've already got the.
I feel like anywhere.
Licenses and things
I think
like
that would impact. I think that would impact Canada though in a way.
It would impact them, but
Yeah.
You're not over there. You're here.
We can talk about this shit all day though.
I know specifically like the industry itself, they had to make specific laws into different states to be able to give minorities the access to be able to purchase that land and make a profit, selling medical marijuana and things of that nature. Because a lot of, for lack of a better word, a lot of rich white people were just buying up this land and finding loopholes to get as much contracts as possible. And it was like kind of like what bigger businesses are doing now to smaller businesses. You're taking up all of the type of capital you can and squeezing out the smaller businesses. And then those smaller businesses end up failing because they can't, attract customers. And I feel like how it's set up now, there needs to be a lot more work. And I feel like the episode that I was talking about with Hassan Minaj's Patriot Act does a really great job of explaining all that stuff. And
I have to check that out.
You have to, bro. You gotta check that out. Like I'll post a link on our social media page so you can check it out. But it's really eye opening, and he does a lot of different episodes too about a whole bunch of different things like the housing industry and things of that nature. So I think what you're on with Genius Buds is a great educational platform to break those stereotypes and preconceived notions. Because as I was reading it, I was like learning new things, and I was like,
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, that's the idea. Is that
if you need any help marketing it, I got you.
I'm definitely gonna reach out to you guys because once again, it's like learning, going through all these things of starting these different businesses, and
Yeah.
learn that the best thing you could do is just like keep asking for help, like keep talking
Yeah,
to
bro.
people,
Yep.
like keep working with people. That's one thing I say. In Fort Myers, like it's kind of different over here. You know, people are in competition with each other, but they're not really, because you don't even know who you're in competition with.
Mhm.
Like you almost feel like, yo, I could take this place over.
Mhm.
But you also feel like, yo, I could see how I could help that person,
Yep.
and we both could win, you know?
Mhm.
But that's kind of been my mentality about this area, is that like once we kind of started going off with the parties, started throwing the parties and things like that, I was like, man, this place is so much potential. Like, bro, we could take over this whole like area if you want to.
Mhm.
And then seeing all these, once again, just seeing these buildings keep coming up, these like they've probably built like 20 apartment complexes
Yeah.
in the last 2 years, 3 years. Like
Around my
people
Trust me,
area
are,
itself,
people are
I'm
just
looking
like
through.
three,
yo.
I'm out there looking all the what's being developed and all that shit. It's fucking crazy.
It's like
bro.
they're getting ready for like a whole new society,
Yeah.
and they know it. But if you're like, stuck in the loop of just your day-to-day life, and you're not, I guess, like, I feel like if you're out and about and you're noticing what's happening,
Mhm.
you'll realize like, yo, these people are gearing up to like have millions of people living here. Like
Yeah.
the place that used to be like a bunch of trees and
Yeah.
things like that,
Boom,
like
apartment complex.
apartment. But once again, if you're a entrepreneur or somebody that aspires to like, I guess like do greater or be greater,
Mhm.
I feel like being here is such a like inspirational type of thing. Is you're like, man, I just seen this person open up like one of those acai bowl places.
Yeah.
And they just start
Acai,
they just
I
got
think it's
acai
called.
bowls,
Mhm.
the acai
Yeah.
bowls. I'm sorry, yeah, the acai bowls, and like their business starts taking off. Like, or
Mhm.
somebody opens a smoothie shop, or somebody opens a gym here.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many opportunity to grow here with
Mhm.
your own brand. Like, for instance, you guys, you guys been to Wally's.
Oh, Wally's
Yeah,
Deli,
Wally's
bro.
Deli, yeah.
Bro, shout out to
Wally's,
Wally's
bro.
Deli,
You
bro.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My
Like,
favorite
Yeah.
breakfast
but
spot.
he's like, that's a person, I don't know if he's from here, but like just came here to go to school and things like that, got his thing going, got his brand going. But you see how we're talking about it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that's like a person that like took what's going on. Cause I think there's like something in the water over there, like at FGCU.
Mhm.
And like, I'll say FGCU, especially like their entrepreneurship program.
Yep.
There's so many people like working on like the craziest ideas that
Mhm.
that are coming out of here.
Yeah.
So when the ideas get really big,
It's like a giant think
it's
tank.
gonna be like, oh man, that came from Fort Myers, and it's gonna make this place bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mhm.
Like, as if you, for instance, when Facebook, took off at Harvard, if you're a person in high school, you're like, I'm going to Harvard. That's where the ideas are coming up at.
Mhm.
I need to go over there, or I'm gonna go to Berkeley in
Mhm.
California. I'm gonna go to like Princeton. I'm gonna go to Yale. I'm gonna go where, they've already shown that people come from here are gonna like, get into this different
Yep.
stratosphere or different like space. But like here, it's like there's so many ideas, man. There's so many businesses and so many brands and concepts being developed, and it's gonna come out of here. And it's already been rooted here. So like, you guys believe in it, I believe in it. It's only a matter of time. By the time it pops off, everybody's gonna be like, "Man, I'm going to Fort Myers,"
Yep.
and you're gonna be like, "What?" You gonna like the fact that people are saying that now, like,
Yep.
I'm going, but that's gonna be a thing to say, like,
Mhm.
I'm going to Fort Myers, like, and all the money's gonna be here.
Mhm.
I believe that, like, just by seeing it, like,
Yep.
and I grew up on the other side where
Yeah.
you could say it's like, everything's already there.
Yeah.
Everything is coming here.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm glad you said that, bro. Because I always get asked by people, like, when I go back to Miami, like, "Yo, why don't you just come back?" And I'm like, bro, like, I love Miami. Like, and I'm plus I'm in the middle of like Tampa, Miami, and my family's in Miami. I got my brother in Tampa. I live for cheaper in Fort Myers. I can go there whenever the hell I want. I'm right in between. I don't got to catch a flight
Yeah.
to go anywhere. Like, and it's just
drive.
so much shit that I could start here that I can see over there. I could pick out of like both places and all that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm really glad that they opened they're opening the entrepreneurship building or something like that.
Man,
Just
bro.
I mean, personally, I don't think that entrepreneurship is a thing you could be taught, as it's more like you got to go out there and just do it. But I do think it's a good idea to actually like ingrain in people's mind that, yo, by the way, you could try to create your own idea. Let me help you try to create your own idea.
Yeah,
I like that
I would
idea.
say that with FGCU though, they're like you're saying, it's like you would think you can't teach somebody how to do it, but I feel like they do a good job at it. But what also applies is that like your personality.
Yeah.
Like they can teach you,
Mhm.
you could teach somebody how to fish, but like if you're just too lazy to get up and go fish, then what am I supposed to do for you?
Yeah.
But I do believe that, they have done like a great job of teaching of like, yo, this is how you're supposed to do this, or this is the way you're supposed to approach it. Like when I went back to school, and I went back to school, by the way, because Genius Buds failed, like in a sense of like I started it, and it was an online smoke shop before it was an educational platform.
Yeah,
But because I didn't have like the right information as an entrepreneur at the time, I just was like, I was ignorant. I was an ignorant entrepreneur. I just was like, dang, this isn't gonna work anymore. And I was like, I guess I gotta go back to school or do something, because I'm like, if this business thing isn't gonna work, like let me just go back to school. So that not because I didn't have the information, and I just kind of like I was like upset and like let me just forget it. Let me just work. Let me just go back to school and let me try to take advantage of what's at school and use that. When I got back into school and I got into the entrepreneurship program, I'm learning all these things that I was saying, like, what I'm doing with Talent View, I'm just gonna apply to everything else. I'm like, dang, I was doing that with Genius Buds, but I didn't know that was the word for what I was doing. Or I was like, school just gives you all the formalities and words for things that you were already doing.
Yeah.
But
gives you more structure.
Yeah, but that structure is so important.
It's super
You don't
important.
realize it, because I would say I was an entrepreneur that was doing it without school. But I'm not gonna lie, I feel like
It's a lot more work.
Yeah, it's a lot more work. But when the way they were teaching it how to do it, it's kind of like it's like easy now.
Yeah.
It's not as like
It's a process. There's like a step-by-step process.
It's a
on
step-by-step
All
process.
right, this is how you would want to manage a team. If you want to build a team,
or
and
this
all
is how
that,
you want to
which
do
is-
this. Like how do you know this is an actual problem you want to solve? How do you know people actually want your solution that you're selling?
Yeah.
We come up with these ideas and we swear somebody's gonna want it, but how do we validate that? So I think that they really taught us validate your idea, validate that somebody wants it, and then they have these different mentors, which was like a big thing for us, because I still, even though I graduated, I still work with the mentors from that entrepreneurship program, like to this day. So it's like that's what I was saying about, like, I wouldn't say for every school, but FGCU, like they kind of like they got something really good going on. Like they have a lot of things going on.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could have taken a little more serious, because you said how you have like mentors from like the entrepreneurship program. I wish I could have taken it more serious in getting mentors like within that type of field. Like when I look back, because I'm just trying to like do whatever I can to pass and graduate. But like taking time to develop those, and I developed a lot of good relationships in college, but I think going to where getting those mentors is going like a step further, where I feel like that could really benefit you and give you a competitive advantage over a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I know your mentors are probably proud of you, just because we're proud of you, all the things that you're doing, and we see it every day. We see you're making strides to not only be a better person, but to be the best entrepreneur you can be. Because like as minorities, we're all aiming, like you said, to be great. And I personally see you striving to be great. So keep being that inspiration to everybody in Southwest Florida, everybody that you're around. And we're really happy that we got you on the episode. So speaking of that, we have one final question for you, and I hope you're ready for it. You know the deal. You were prepped.
Got you.
So we ask all of our guests at the end of our episodes to make a toast to Southwest Florida. So we're going to ask you the same thing. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. If you can make a toast to Southwest Florida and the people here, what would you like that toast to be?
I'm going to make a toast to first of all, the hustlers of Fort Myers. When I mean hustlers, I mean just the people that are getting it off the muscle any way they can, from selling water on the street to, you know, open up your first business in Fort Myers. I want to give a major shout out to them. I want to give a major shout out and toast to FGCU for just their entrepreneurship program and the faculty that they have in there. I definitely want to give a toast to the small businesses in Fort Myers, because they've definitely shown that even though they've had to face this unprecedented time of COVID, like, that we're going to be alive and we're going to, like, make this work. Like, we're going to make this only do pickup order work, only do to go. I mean, only do, like, delivery. Like, we're going to make that work. We're not going to let that, like, deteriorate us. A lot of people had to shut down, but a lot of businesses that, you know, from our social media with Townview and, like, you know, kind of the businesses that we're working with, we kind of seen that, like, they stayed, you know, tough throughout this whole situation. And that is, like, a big statement to me of, like, you know, this is, like, the spot to be in. If you want, like, if you believe in, like, something and you are willing to work in it from the ground up to, like, the top, this is, like, the place to be in. Like, you get so distracted other places. So definitely a toast to Fort Myers for being, like, a focus area. You know, this Absolutely. Is, like, definitely the place where you can come and focus. Like, you're not going to Miami and focusing. Yeah.
So, Ricardo, we appreciate you coming on the show. This is episode 22. We want you to go ahead and let our listeners know where they could find you and where can they find the projects you're working on.
Me personally, I want to let your listeners know that I'm not that cool. So go on townviewapp.com, TOWNVIEWAPP.com. Go on geniusbuds.com, GENIUSBUDS.com. Go on vintagevibes.com, VINTAGEVYBS.com. Just make sure you check out all these websites. You'll find me somewhere on those pages. And if I'm cool enough to you, then you follow me. But I really appreciate you guys downloading that Townview app. Go order a shirt on Vintage Vibes and go learn more on Genius Buds.
Absolutely.
I got the Townview app, bro. I just needed to update it real quick. So
we just got the new update.
Yeah.
You about to be excited.
The way my data, the way my data set up.
I've had it downloaded, bro. I remember when you first kicked it off, bro. It's gonna be a really good app, bro.
I appreciate it.
It's gonna be beneficial.
Thank you guys for guys having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We're excited for everything that you're working on, and I'm pretty sure our listeners are gonna be tuning in and following your Townview app, your Vintage Vibes website, and your Genius Bud website as well, because we're gonna promote the shit out of it.
I really appreciate that.
And so that's another episode in the books. It's your boy Nicholas.
Buenas noches.
Peace.